Ready? Okay. So, Lieutenant, first of all, what have you been doing all overnight as far as trying to keep things a little bit under control?
Well, we've shut down and restricted access to the affected area, and by setting up a perimeter to keep people out, so we can help protect the property of those that are affected by the storm last night.
Have you had any problems so far overnight with people looting or anything?
None that we're aware of. Everything seems to have gone fairly well.
So, you were mentioning to me that you're fortunate that, you hate to say fortunate, but that it wasn't a larger area here in Ankeny.
It made it a lot easier for us to contain and protect it than if it was spread out like our storm was in '74.
So mainly, what is your manpower situation here?
We split our department up into two shifts, and they're working 12-hour shifts from now until we feel we can revert back to our normal procedures. And we've also been getting assistance from outside agencies such as the Iowa State Patrol and the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
So, at this time, you think you have pretty much everything under control. As daylight comes on, do you think there'll be more people wanting to go back to their homes to see what's happening?
I'm sure there will be people trying to return to their homes, and we're going to start issuing permits so that they can return to the affected area. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of their friends and neighbors going to be wanting to enter the area, and we're still going to have to restrict the amount of traffic that goes in there so that we can still protect.
Is that door open in the car? Huh? That door open in the car? No. Alright, my close it.
See, you gotta get that Buick out of here.
I'll put this back in my room. I'll come back.
So Jay, what happened last night?
Well, I was up in my room and I heard a freight train type noise. It's kind of scary, and I heard my dad yell, "Get downstairs!" And so I quickly got up and ran downstairs and hid underneath the pool table.
So what was the feeling like?
You can't describe it. It's unreal.
Were you folks all shocked? Did you cry, or did you cry, or were you pretty much just in shock?
We were pretty much in shock, but afterwards we kind of felt really bad, crying and family type stuff.
So what about losing? Were you able to salvage much of your goods?
Yeah, maybe a car full. That was about it, pretty much.
So mainly all you have left is what?
Personal belongings, pretty much. Jewelry, some clothes maybe. That's about it. Nothing else.
And your dad, he pretty much was able to salvage his car, thank goodness. What was he doing last night when it happened?
He was keeping calm. He ran upstairs and got all the important papers, like everybody else, and just stayed down and was calm with us kids.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Chris. What's your name?
Vicki Kanen,
How do you spell your last name?
Coenen.
Okay, and is it Vicki or Y?
Y.
Okay. So, Vicki, where do you live?
Live just across the street over here at 1210 Southeast Wanda.
Did anything happen to your house?
Well, our front door blew in and a couple windows, and we got minimal damage to a few other things, but that's about it.
Were you home?
Yes, we were.
What was it like?
Well, the lights went off, no sirens, and the wind came up, and it was over in seconds.
Would you say you were just in shock? What did it feel like?
Well, it's pretty scary. We were going up the front door, my daughter and I were, and the door blew in at us, and we were just going to get a flashlight, and it was over.
And there was no siren? You didn't hear a siren?
The siren went on after the damage was done.
So, how much damage would you say is done to your house?
I have no idea. We're so lucky the people across the street lost their whole house and garage. They weren't home last night when it happened, thank God. So, I just thank the Lord that we're okay and everybody's okay.
Okay, great. Can I ask you just a quick question?
bet.
All right, let me switch sides here real quickly. What is your name?
Richard Kanen.
And it's, again, CEO.
Right. Vicky's my wife.
Okay, and it's Richard. Okay,
Right.
So were you home last night when this happened?
Yes, I was. In fact, I was watching TV and the lights went out, and all of a sudden the window right behind me was vibrating, and I looked out the window and everything was flying.
What was that like?
It was kind of scary. I looked across the street and the house was gone. I didn't see it go, but it was gone when I looked out the window.
So how do you repair something like this? I mean, just walking through these neighborhoods is devastating.
Well, there's going to be a lot of these houses replaced, and I was in a tornado in this town in 1974. We lost a brand new home, hadn't even moved into it yet. So this is actually the first tornado that I've ever been home, and I've been involved in 3 of them in between Nebraska and Iowa.
You've been involved in 3 tornadoes.
Right.
So what about 1974 when you lost your home? You've got to consider yourself lucky now.
Right. Real lucky. I think the good Lord took care of us this time.
Okay. Thanks,
you.
Richard. Appreciate it. You ready? Okay. So, officer, basically, what's your function here today?
Traffic control, keep the sightseers out.
A lot of sightseers?
Not too many this morning. Last night there was quite a few came through when they heard about it, and this morning the perimeter has been sealed off, so we've got it pretty well quarantined right now.
So what was it like last night? Where were you when this happened last night?
I was off duty at home.
Did your house get destroyed at all?
No.
So what was it like to you? I mean, being blocks away perhaps from what was going on here.
Well, I was here in the 74 tornado, so it's pretty much the same thing, other than, like I say, it's an isolated area this time, where the one prior to that in 74 did quite a bit more extensive damage to a larger area of the town.
You see a lot of residents coming back just shocked this morning, like in a daze, watching their house, seeing that it's destroyed?
Oh yeah, they're all in disbelief, probably trying to figure out where they're going to go from here. I mean, they have to start from scratch all over again, so they've got a lot of work ahead of them.
And could you spell your name for me, please?
Bowers, B-O-W-E-R-S.
And it's Lauren, L-O-R-E-N?
Yes.
And is it sergeant or lieutenant or?
No, officer.
Officer. Okay, great. With the Ankeny Police. Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
It's like, well, maybe I can get you kind of inside. I've got Channel 5 too, but I don't think we're going to be able to do anything until 6:30. Of course, by that time it's 6:20, so they let us in.
because
5
we
minutes.
were here at 5:30, and they were like, "No, we can't let you in," and I was like,
This is one of the. This is one, yeah.
"Oh, this is oh yeah."
This
They
is
said
the
this
worst.
is the worst section of town.
That's what I thought.
No doubt about
We
it.
haven't been able to see it.
Oh, we couldn't see it. We didn't
I'm
see
like,
it.
I'm not going to talk about it. I can't see it. This is just one of those weeks. See that some houses are being destroyed. Others are just devastated.
Well, this morning I came in at the 4 o'clock shift. I'm supposed to get off at 1, but I'm going to. I usually work 8:30 to 5:30, and then 1:30 to 10:30 on Saturday. So. Hi. How you doing? Hello. Sure, we're on here. It's just amazing. I mean, it's so sad walking up and down the street. And yet some houses aren't even touched. You know, that's... Okay, so Dan Brady, your last name is B-R-A-D-Y?
Yes.
Okay,
that's
and
true.
Dan is just common spelling.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So Dan, where were you when this happened last night?
I just came home and just got home. We just arrived. My wife and I were talking, and the tornado hit.
Were there any sirens?
No, there wasn't. It just hit that quick. I had just driven down the Michael, and it was nice and calm and clear, and heard the freight train, and I heard the vacuum of the house, and like it was in '74, and so we left. For
So
the
you were here.
basement.
You were here in '74.
Yes, we were here in '74. We lived on 10th Street, and it had the same damage. Lost the garage door, windows, roof, same stuff.
Was it worse or about the same?
Tornado's a tornado. It's about the same. And in the house 2 doors down from us, what happened in '74, the white people, there were their names, they got killed, and that was the sad part of that one. And it's like Gleason's down here, Chris. He lost his house.
So, how do you put something like this into perspective to just go on and pick up the pieces, literally?
Just junk. You start again. It's just nothing more than a house, it's just material, so it's life. You know.
So you live with your wife here and any children at all?
And our children are all growing, and they've been calling. I know what happened, what they can do. I said, anybody who wants to help, come on. We got a whole bunch of junk. We're just going to move it out front like we did before.
So your house isn't destroyed, but you'll just
We have-
repair what you...
Well, whatever it is, we have to get somebody to get up in the roof and see how much is there. We got some cracks in the walls and splits and 2x4s through the windows, through the walls, came through and stuck in the roof.
So was your house, it was just damaged in '74, it wasn't destroyed then either?
No,
Okay.
same thing.
So 2 tornadoes in one lifetime, is that too much?
Hope they're not 3 that I have to go through. And the other people, you know, we're quite lucky, you know, and we really are. In '74 it missed us, and this time it missed us. And like Chris, he wasn't so lucky. And it's just a mess, you know.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Sure.
I appreciate I know, I hate that. Okay, so Chris, where were you when this happened last night?
Well, my 7-year-old daughter and I, we were in the garage working on my old car, and my son was in the bedroom. My wife was in West Des Moines planning her 20th anniversary reunion for her class, and all of a sudden we heard this freight train coming, no pre-warning, nothing, and I said, let's move now, let's get down there. And we hopped out of the garage, hopped downstairs. My son, I yelled at him the minute I got in the house, and we peeled downstairs, got underneath the pool table, and the minute we got underneath the pool table, the house exploded. And it's what's ironic about the whole thing is that where my daughter and I were, the roof, as you can see, is intact. The rest of the roof was gone. So where we were at, we even might have been saved if we would have even stayed there and thought it was just a storm that was passing. But when I heard the freight train, we got downstairs as fast as we could, and just seconds later it blew over.
How do you break this news to your wife?
Well, ironically, after it blew over, I went upstairs and saw that our roof was gone, and the phones worked. So I called her in West Des Moines and I said, honey, we had a tornado. And I said, you need to come home. And she said, I'm on my way. She slammed the phone down before I could even explain whether or not we were hurt or the kids were alive or anything. Her problem was she couldn't get through. The police held her up outside of town. She couldn't get through. And finally they got word that they sent her over to the Catholic Church, and we got away and met her over at the Catholic Church.
So you were very concerned just earlier this morning about getting your car out. Tell us a little bit about how much that meant to you.
Well, I just got the car completed. It's a $35,000 37 Buick, and it survived the storm untouched. And I had some friends help get the garage door. The garage door had collapsed inches from the car, and we got the door down, and I got the car out and stored in a friend's house.
Were you here for '74 tornado?
Yes, we survived that one too. We didn't get touched. It didn't go where we were at, but we were okay.
Would you say your house is destroyed?
Definitely. I'm just hoping that they total it so we can start from the foundation and build it from the foundation up.
Okay, Chris. Thanks a lot. Appreciate your time. The Gleasons say they survived the Ankeny tornado of '74 and the one last night. And while they'll have to rebuild their home and their lives, they say they're glad they're at least around to do it. Pauletta Longo, Channel 5 News.